I was born in Harrogate, North Yorkshire, and I think the only thing I was ever really good at was like drawing and painting. I was lucky at the age of 19 to get in the Slade School in University College, which was it was quite an achievement, I think, to get in there because it was highly competitive. William Coldstream ran the Slade School, who was quite a formidable kind of academic, and but he also used to invite in his mates, Francis Bacon and Lucian Freud and Frank Kaulbach, who were all very significant contemporary English painters. I decided to work in the sculpture department where I did figure work from the model. Under the guidance of a guy called Leonard Lacombe, who was a great friend of mine and remained a great friend of mine throughout his life. I was there with Ulrich Niemeyer, whose sculpture I exhibit in the gallery here with mine, and who was a contemporary who I've kept in touch with throughout, who lives in New Mexico in USA. Because there's a lot going on in the 60s in London. A lot of new artwork was being shown. The American Expressionists exhibited in the Tate Gallery, and also Rothko would be exhibited in Whitechapel in London. And all these were quite revelations in terms of kind of visual art at the time. Things were opening up. It was a very optimistic time. Here I am in our gallery, Christina's gallery in Coimbra in Portugal, where we've settled. And I got a semi-permanent display of my work here. And I also have a studio outside Coimbra in the mountains, in an old farmhouse. We've been living there for approaching 18 years. And then we decided to get a property in central Coimbra. And we discovered this place, which used to be an old pharmaceutical dispensing company that had gone bust, and they'd renovated what was really quite an old property. But we found it highly suitable to make into a gallery, studio, and living accommodation, which I'm slowly getting used to the transition of working here. But it takes me a while to settle, so I kind of this is where I am at the moment. I think this type of painting has evolved as a result of me looking at more and more paintings. And the biggest influence I've had was looking at the Goya's dark paintings in the Prado in Madrid, which in fact I was advised to look at by Francis Bacon in about 1962.
Is it all in your head, or have you got visual references that you...
Well, I start painting, and I've usually done a number of kind of drawings and collages, and I have a clear idea of what the structure of the painting is going to look like. But then it inevitably changes, because as soon as you scale these things up, they take on another level. And I'm certainly with the pictures at Rotherhithe, I'm preoccupied that I wanted to make it the full scale, and approximately these are the scale of the main window at Rotherhithe. I've been working on, as well as on the kind of paintings, I've been working on a series of boxes which I was thinking about making as like solid shapes to fit in the gallery. I mean, I'm talking about large boxes. But now I've been thinking further about it, and I'm looking at making them solid shapes. I'm going to make them using a material called voile, and print on the images I've been working on onto this semi-transparent material It's a theatrical material, which is, you can see through. So the plan is to make a series of like suspended frames, see, with the voile hanging down loosely, maybe sewn at the corner, so that whenever one walks into the kind of gallery space, there'll be some movement in the form of the box. Hopefully it would just like flutter in the kind of breeze. That's the kind of plan. But I need to work on that possibly in London, because I thought I could get these things done in Portugal, where they have the facility, but they work on such a large scale. I can't get easily one-off pieces done, editable, and a bit more. But they will be light hanging frames, boxes, hanging boxes. Yeah, that's more the more I'm thinking. What I do is I work on panels, and then I temporarily clamp them up and make decisions about the scale of the thing. That was part of the original picture. I've taken it off because it didn't look, it gave me the wrong scale. But so I can move them around, look at them individually. But it's canvas, linen canvas stretched over my plywood, the 2x1 frame, which I found is very flexible, because if I want to reduce the size of the picture, I can simply cut the plywood. But then when I made the kind of decision, I kind of reassemble the picture, because they're really quite light, and they transport quite easily. But I found this is a very flexible way of working, because I can, if I want, I can put the flat panel on the floor to work on. But sometimes with acrylics, you're better really like staining the colour in, and it's best done on the floor. I love other pictures here. As you can see, they're not complete as such, but I've got quite a stack of the unstretched kind of canvases, which go way back. Some of those colours are possibly 10 years old at least. I did them in Aylesbury. But that's part of the kind of process, and I'm painting and I'm gluing and I'm cutting and I'm refining the scale and size of things like constantly, which that until I reach a point where I think I can't do any more, so it may as well be finished. This is the first drawing collage I did at Paso. It's based on the original kind of stone wall in the house. I just wanted to capture the kind of feel of that kind of like stonework and that kind of ruggedness about the whole thing. So I developed this as a drawing on one side and as like a photo collage on the other. But I'm quite fond of that as a kind of picture. It's intended as an interpretation of a period of time, of a 20-year period of time, that I lived in both Birkenhead, Aylesbury, and finally central Portugal. I use this stage like a clear idea about the colourway I'm going to use on a painting, and then I kind of, in some cases, I pre-mix the key colours, like in this case, this kind of purpley grey colour against that kind of Mars yellow colour, which I'm using as a background for the kind of images that I've repositioned in a way, but I still haven't resolved the exact format of the picture. That's why I've taped it up with these black tapes that are indicating the scale of the picture. So I then work through this stage, which means possibly making the colours maybe less transparent by adding layers of acrylic to make a greater density of colour. But I'm still trying to resolve those issues. I actually quite like the way this has been taken to this stage. And I've got a feeling that I might leave this particular painting at this stage and start another one when I get some more canvas in stock. The other thing, simultaneously, I'm working on these boxes. I started off by making these smaller models, not exactly to the finished scale, just to get a kind of value. And then I've kind of moved on to like standardising the kind of scale that I envisage a finished work to be. But I made these boxes as solid shapes, but it will be in this semi-transparent foil, which allows things to be seen through. And hopefully I can see the background paintings as well once the positioning of the semi-transparent box will be established. I walk down here every day. Which lift that window opens, to lift it up, slide it through the window, carry it down to the river, which I can just about manage on my own, but I have to drag it with a rope across the riverline before you can put it in the water. But it's 2 people, it can be carried. So that's the oil repair. But we haven't really set it up properly. So we're going to put a sink with like a water tank, and but I've never really taken it beyond this stage. Mine never useful. Useless for sitting in to cool off. They do tend to tip. Just keeps you buoyant. But this time of year, with the river being polluted, if you fell in, the chances of you getting some mild dysentery are very high. But we travel on, don't we? This is off the mountain with the after the fire, the watercourses changed position and things just sprung up like in different places, changed the whole layout of the thing. But they run off this up there. There's what's called a water mine, which is like a tunnel built into the stone, which has a kind of ledge which runs into a lagoon at the bottom, and the water runs out of the water mine, which used to feed the village down there until they discovered that the water was contaminated with bat droppings, which cause rabies. The workshop. All me machine tools, cutting up bits of wood and stuff. Ah, shit. Oh, you got me figuring, did you?
Yeah.
I'm going to eat it now. Oh, nectar. Oh.
Yeah, we just picked.
I
Oh,
struggle with that one.
oh, we just picked a few more. They're all perfectly ripe.
Well, nice.
Yeah. Are you getting some figging here?
Figuring.
Yeah, I sneaked up on him and he wasn't looking.
Yeah, he's just eating it though.
I caught him with his stick.
Well, I kind of pushed it a bit, so I thought of that.
Oh, I can see it.
Taste it.
Actually, can see quite a good one. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. But
no, I could probably cut it down. What's the other?
yeah, just pull the actual branch.
You're right.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
No,
Just be careful you don't. break
Midnight
the-
slips off.
That was not quite
Right.
easy to give though.
So that's a bit too.
That's not quite right.
Oh, take it in the house because it will ripen.
Ripen indoors, yeah. Yeah, it's hard though.
Begin. Yeah, well, this is my like working space in the flat here. It's very small, but I'm this is where I'm working on a series of the boxes which are scaled down versions of the real size alcove out there, which I'm going to include. I'm going to include at least two of the hanging box things in the exhibition, and we'll see how they work, and I have to adapt and work. I am looking for a bigger studio space, obviously, in London, because I'm accumulating some quite large paintings and I need to store them in the UK because the problem of shipping things from Portugal is becoming more and more complicated. I'm probably drawn to river locations like I am at Paso. And the significance of this, and I've been looking into kind of local history, was that the Pilgrim Fathers set off from the New World just up here in, I think, 1612, prior to going to Plymouth and then getting the ship sorted to sail across to America. And also, I think, importantly from an artistic point of view, that Turner and his mate in 1832 witnessed the Fighting Temeraire being towed down the Thames to go to the Breakers Yard just round the corner here, as its last voyage. Famous painting, significant English painting in the Tate Gallery. And now what we've got is the kind of affluence of Canary Wharf, which is growing, and there's tower blocks going up by the year changing the scenery just to state that, you know, the financial district is still making money and controlling part of the world commerce, which politically is true. But all this is the kind of mix that kind of goes into the paintings that I've done from here, which covers this alcove size. And but ironically, I painted the pictures actually in Portugal, in rural Portugal. So little riverboat over there just coming down with the kind of evening wrappers getting ready for the finale.